So as we've been talking about is can you see it? So first thing I'm going to do is I have water in here, but can you see it? No, you can't see it, and there's a reason for that. That's because it's in a metal canister. Now say this canister represents a vessel of sin in your life. You can't see the water through the metal. What happens if I put it in a glass? This represents the vessel of God and Jesus Christ. And when I take this off, this vessel is called perfect love. And it's the only thing that you'll ever need, really, in your life, is the perfect love of God. And you can see yourself and others through the perfect love of God. Now, when you're still dead in your sin, which you'll learn about later, is you can't get to what God has for you. So once you realize that you are loved, you have love in your life, and it's not the same kind of love that your parents give you. You might say, oh, it's unconditional love. But is it perfect love? You can't compare your earthly parents. Oh, well, my dad left me. How can I count on God, my heavenly Father, to not do the same thing? You can't judge people and put that judgment on God. You can't say, well, if everything here has failed me, then why on earth would I believe that there's someone up there that's going to take care of me? Someone up there that loves me? So I'm going to read a verse, and it is on what love is. And I'm using electronics because I put my notes in here. Dang it, I just had it up. All right. So it is 1 Corinthians 13:4. And it starts saying, if I can find it, yes. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Focus on that. Keeps no record of wrongs. Your wrongs. No record. He can't see your wrongs anymore, because the blood of Christ is covering you, because he loves you so much that he sent and created a son to come down here and to come down here for you. Now, we're in a room with 5,000 people, over 5,000 kids, youth. How on earth is he going to love me if there's 5,000 other people that he has to love? That's because he sent his son down there for each and every one of us, individually thought out. Each of us, this is available for you. You may be here, you may be here. You may be in between, where you don't know yet. This is always waiting for you. He'll always be there to wait on you and to serve you. And we continue reading, and it says, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. When you choose here, there's a party in heaven for you. You know how you jump up here by the stage? Well, God's jumping up in heaven just because you decided. It says, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. It means it always trusts. And that's something that I really learned on this trip. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a funny story, and it's got to do with the number 43. We were on the bus, and Miss Janice, she said, I have a surprise for someone. First, I have a surprise for someone. Pick a number 1 through 100. People start picking numbers. 47. 93. And I hear a voice in my head that tells me to sniff Miss Janice's arm. Now, I am telling you, never in my life have I ever heard a voice in my head go tell me to sniff someone's arm. I sniff Miss Janice's arm, and I look up, and I say the number 43. Now, that is 1 in 100 out of the numbers I could have picked. It was 43. My surprise was lovely. I had to get the trash out of the bus. But Miss Janice, she brought something to my attention. And I was thinking in my head, really, God, you can give me the numbers to a random question like this, but you can't give me the lottery numbers? But the reason that he gave me the number 43, which I'll now remember for the rest of my life, is one, to trust him, because I'd been trying to get this message together the entire week of Passion Camp. And I realized that I was forcing it. I wasn't letting God take control of this message. So I trust him. Why? Because I know that his perfect love covers me. I didn't get this message until about 5 minutes ago right there. Now, normally I'll come up and I'll have a whole notebook, everything's planned out. But God's love is reckless. God's love doesn't say, okay, here's a 5-step diagram on how to get from point A to point B. No. God says, okay, I'm going to take you from point A to point B, but along the way, you're going to end up sniffing someone's arm. So, the song, the reason that I'm now focused on this is because the song says, I know who I am because of who you are. Yes. That's the entire focus of today, is I know who I am through you. I know who I am through your love. So, in order to have that relationship with him, you have to understand the fact that he loves you. Not, oh yes, he loves every Christian. He loves everyone that's in this church. He loves that person to my right. You also have to understand the fact that he loves you individually. He knows how many hairs are on your head. He knows what you're going through before you even ask. Yet he still wants you to trust him enough to do something crazy. And the only reason why I was able to sniff Miss Janice's arm is because when we were one Wednesday night, I got a message from God, and I believe that this is more of a foreshadowing. And it said they were at a restaurant, and to go and nibble on this man's ear and tell them that Jesus loves him. I don't know if you guys remember this message, but it was a long time ago. It stuck with me. So, you got to realize that everything he does is for something, and it's because that he loves you is why you're able to trust him. So as long as you keep that in mind, that you're trusting God because you know he loves you individually. And yes, he loves the person to your right. Yes, he loves the person to your left. But he knows what's on your heart. And he's able to let you see people through his love. And that's the most beautiful thing that you can ever see someone as, is through the love of Christ. Because no matter what they do to you, no matter who comes up to you and puts a label on you, if you know who you are in him and you know that they also, and you can see them through him, even if everyone else sees the prostitute, you can see the child of God. Even if everyone else sees this person, they lie, they steal, they're a criminal, you can see they're loved, they're created, and they're for God, even if they don't know it yet.